So I'm happy to be here with you and to share my expertise on marketplaces. So I used to work for e-commerce and marketplace for the last 20 years and worked as a software vendor, but also as a marketplace operator. So I was on the two sides of the mirror, the one who's selling the proposition and the one who has to implement it. And so doing these two roles give me the idea to build a company to help the digital transformation of you, of everyone, because there is a lot of things that we have to handle. And so what I built the slide 10 minutes ago, so and I'm not a very good PowerPoint designer, so I will try to make it good. So the thing is, we have now to connect with multiple applications. This means there is a lot of SaaS. So as I told you, I started in the e-commerce and marketplace 20 years ago. 20 years ago, we do not have, we have to handle maybe 3 or 4 different applications to work with: emailing, the phone, the CRM, and that's all. Now we have the messaging, the CRM, the eCRM. I'm sorry, so it's not due to my presentation, it's just the virus, okay? And there is plenty of new application, and from what I understood is now an employee of a company needs to work with at least 23 different applications. And all of that is done to make something works, which is all the internal relationship that you will have in your own companies, or the way that you will deal with your customer. So connecting multiple applications with the legacy is one of the most difficult transformation projects. Sorry, there were a typo. So you need to implement a new business and new technical process. You have to create an existing organization and integrate it into the way that you used to work. And you have to edit the existing information system, which is quite complicated. I will show you just a slide of what is the impact of a marketplace project on IT. First, what is a marketplace? So, do you guys used to buy on marketplaces? I can imagine maybe all of us. Is there anyone here who owns a marketplace or work in a marketplace or wants to launch a marketplace? You? Great. So you know how hard it is to build it, to maintain it, and to make it work. A marketplace is a 3-side business model. You have in the middle the marketplace operator, the companies that own the marketplace, the guys who run the marketplace. Okay, it can be a marketplace of goods, it can be a marketplace of services, it can be a marketplace of data. There is a lot of things. What does mean a marketplace? It means that you have, you as an operator, 2 customers. Few of the people told you that, but that's the reality. You have the buyer, but also the sellers. You need to be sure that the seller will be happy to sell through your marketplace, and the buyer will be happy to buy through your marketplace. And you have to link all of them. So the marketplace seller will rely on you as a marketplace operator, on your catalog, on his catalog, the order, the payment, the customer care, and the marketing. Okay? And you saw there is some new regulation regarding payment, regarding advertising, regarding the way that we presented the product or the goods or the services from the different sellers. As a marketplace operator, you will have to be able to give the publication. So to give the right information, the product that you receive from the marketplace seller is the same that you will show. But it has also to be the same that the own you show. This means the customer experience is at the heart of what you have to build. The customer should not see any difference between your assortment and the assortment of the other seller that you will have on your platform. But you have to provide the security, the payment, and the customer care. And of course, regarding the relationship between the marketplace buyer and the marketplace seller, you have the logistic, the payment too, and the customer care. There is one thing which is really important. There is when we speak about security, I had to deal before the COVID with a company in New York who wants to launch a marketplace for food. And it's hard to launch a marketplace for food because it's something really hard in the legal aspect to handle. So they decide to put it under drop shipping and to say, okay, we will give the assortment to our buyers who are a B2B marketplace, this means for small retailers. And they didn't think about the legal aspect of that. Because when you run a marketplace, you do not handle the responsibility of the product. You do not have the ownership of the product. It moves from the marketplace seller to the marketplace buyer, just in the legal aspect. If you are doing drop shipping, even if it's a 1 second buy and sell, the responsibility moves from the marketplace seller to you, and you handle it. And so you really need to take care of that, and that's the impact of the different flow that you will have to manage. So as a marketplace seller, you will have to deal with multiple sellers as much as you can. You need to be able to have the deepest catalog of offering with the good quality that will answer to your KPIs and to the customer experience that you want to provide to your customer. But as a seller, you will have also to deal with multiple marketplaces, and you will have to deal with their own system. So you have your system, and you have maybe, at least normally a seller works with 4 to 10 different marketplaces. So he has to be able to make his information moving from his own system to 10 external different systems. And it doesn't go just in one way, it goes in 2 ways, because he has to receive the order, the information, the payment, the commission, and all of the stuff. And so you have a multi-layer of business process, and of course, and maybe you heard about that during the conference, start to be in a composable strategy. Works with different components. And this, oh, I was thinking I had an Apple and not a Microsoft one. Sorry for Microsoft. He has to make an update. It was a joke, sorry about that. So, sorry, I built it just a few minutes ago, but this is the impact of the system. So you have the front, the CRM, the back office for the operator, the marketplace seller back office, the CRM, which will be dedicated to the marketplace, and the checkout and the payment. Payment is key in the marketplace. Very important to know how to handle it. Because you saw maybe that there is a lot of new ways that are be launched during the COVID with the BNPL, with the multi-tier payments, and all of the stuff. You have to handle it. It's very, very important to make it in the right way. So there is 3 colors. Sorry, you won't be able to see all in the good vision, but there is 3 kinds of component. The component that you will have to build, the existing, the one that you will have to deal with, which is certainly the legacy that you have, and the ones that you will have to update. Okay? In the front, of course, you have the catalog, the order, the emailing, the claim management, the customer portal, the legal information, the marketplace offering, and the seller's information. That will be something you will have to update and to build. Marketplace offering and sellers will be to build. Okay? In the checkout process, you will have the payment that will receive a huge impact. For what reason? Because you, as a buyer, you don't want to make a multiple basket, multiple cart, and pay each of the seller with your credit card. You want just a simple exercise. You want to have a very good customer experience. So just one card with all the sellers. You pay one, you use your credit card just one time, and the marketplace operator will have to deal that. This means that he will have to make what we call the pay-in and the payout. So the PSP, so do you know what a PSP is? Okay, so it's a payment service provider. It's a company like Stripes, IDN, and other. Some of them are able to handle the marketplace system. Some are not. Okay, because there is something which is really important. Is okay, I get the money from the customer. How I dispatch it to the different sellers. You made a cart, you made a basket of 10 different products coming from 8 different sellers. How do I get the money? And I split it to each of them with the right amount, and something which is new is a business model that changed. How do I handle the commission for them? This is something which is new, and this is what you will have to build in the marketplace back office. It's the way of merging the catalog, merging the orders, the emailing, the claim, the category, the legal information, the notation of the sellers, because you have to be sure that they will follow the KPIs that you are asking them to follow to give the right customer experience, the commission and the offering. Maybe a new word, I don't know if you are familiar with that. What is an offering? What is the difference between an offering and a product? Do you know or not? Do you want me to explain what is the difference? No. An offering, let's take the example of a smartphone, okay? This is a smartphone, okay? Everybody knows it's a smartphone. This is a product. He has his own EAN or SKU, his description, the colors, and all of that stuff. This is a product. The offering will be, what is the status of this product? Is it a new one? Is it a refurbished one? Is it a second-hand one? How much do I have in my inventory? And what is the price? This is the different components of an offer, which makes things completely different. And you will see there is a lot of strategy that the marketplace can use. You have two kinds of marketplace. For me, I would say two kinds of marketplace. You have the marketplace pure player. This means the company is only a marketplace. They do not have their own inventory. They do not have their own warehouse. They are just making the relationship between you, buyers, and the sellers. And you have the extended marketplaces. I am a retailer, or I am a company, maybe an insurance, and I want to add other products from different sellers. And this is something that can happen. You can build your own competition. And I will explain you why it's important to do that. It costs a lot to acquire a customer. It costs a lot of money. And sometimes the customer will be interested in the price, or in the availability of the product, or in the way that, the speed that he will get it. And so having a marketplace will help you to get a better return on investment. And you will have, for example, companies like Amazon. If Amazon is an extended marketplace, they have their own inventory, their own warehouse, and they use other vendors to enrich the offer, both in the new categories, but also in the availability of product. And there is plenty of other things that they are doing with their marketplace. But let's take just this example. So they will say, okay, if a customer comes, here we come for the price. So we have the buy box, and we don't care if we have the product in your own assortment, if it's available. We will push the best offering that the customer will have, that for the customer. So if a seller is cheaper than me, even if I have the product in my own assortment, and the product will be available in the right way, I will sell it to the seller. Whatever happens, I will get a commission on that. But I won't lose the customer. There is some retailer where the stores are one of their biggest assets, and they will be in competition not only with the company, but also with the store manager, that we do not understand that if a customer is able to get a product from my own assortment, why I will push the offer of a seller. So there is another strategy. So there is a competition, but they will do the promotion of their own product. So all of these rules must be handled by the way that you will decide to manage both KPIs. I have 5 minutes. I was not aware of that. So I have to speed. I'm sorry about that. That's the problem of the passion. And so you will have to handle all of the stuff. So this is all the impact that you will have. So of course, the best way to handle this kind of project, and it was just an example, it's to so that in the integration of this kind of new business model, of this kind of new way to make growth or to do digital transformation, 60% of the cost of a global project is handled by the integration. And it's also 100% of the risk. Because all the components that you will have, the e-commerce platform, they will do the job. They say, we will do that, they will do it. Same thing with the back office marketplace, same thing with the payment, not sure with the consultant, but it's another joke. Sorry, I have a strange sense of humor, but that's part of my experience. And the other, they will do what they say that they promise, okay? But the way to interconnect them, to make them work together, this is where the risk is. Just one thing, if you are a retailer, if you want to launch a marketplace, when you launch a marketplace, what is the project of a marketplace? It's the project of growth. It's bringing growth into the company, okay? So I use, this one is better because it's done by the Gartner. They have more resource than me. It's to speak about platform orchestration. That's the key of what you have to do and to handle. It's enable the speed to value, accelerate anything digital, create an adaptable workforce, deliver any scale operation with ecosystem, because this is the question of a marketplace, is building an ecosystem, and build a custom-made data interconnection that enable composability. This is from me, and I'm very proud of that, because it's not so, it looks good at the end. What is a low-code integration platform? That will allow you to speed, and of course, it will change. You will have to build reusable package because you have to be unlocked from the different vendor that you use. If you are not working well with a PSP, the problem with integration is the stickiness that you will have. And thanks to the API, it reduces it. Okay, that's the most important thing that we need to understand. APIs reduced the stickiness, and it helps you to be more able to get the freedom of what you want to do. Governance is very important. Governance is very important. You need to know who do what component do what data are used by whom, and you need to be able to monitor that. You have to have the transparency, design the great workflow that will show the fact that you handle this operation in this way. That's something which is also important. As I told you, I'm an old guy, okay? And so when I started my career, there is something which was very important, is knowledge management. Now, you know, since we have this new kind of way of working, people comes, move, change, and they build something and they leave the company, they leave you, and you don't know how to handle it. So building workflow, designing it, building the process library into a low-code APIs platform will help you to keep the knowledge internally and to know that and to reduce the time of onboarding of new people. Composable, and of course, reduction of the risk. I'm good? Great. So it's finished.
Yes, thank you, Kamel. It
You're
was
welcome.
full of passion. Thanks a lot. So do you have any question for Kamel?
I was too clear.
Yep. Okay, so the microphone is completely done, dead. So, okay, cool. Thanks.
So I was wondering, what I've seen in my personal experience as a shopper in the past is when platforms open up to other sellers, it kind of reduces the equality and the trust within the platform due to the type of other sellers coming into the platform.
Yeah.
So it gets flooded by, kind of dropshippy, or it feels like dropshippy sellers. How would you prevent that and go about that and keep your brand strong?
Yeah. So first is designing the quality of onboarding of the sellers. To be sure, you do not allow a seller to enter into your store without doing some test. This means you start by doing internal orders. That's the reason why workflows are very important with task management. You have to test them on what is the quality of the delivery. So, for example, I bought also on marketplaces some package with the packaging of another company, which is crazy. It reduces drastically the quality. So to prevent that, you need to go to all the process that you want to handle and say, okay, the seller onboarding is key. I have to do the right selection. First, I need to think about what are my KPIs, what are my customer experience expectation, and what are the customer expectation too. So to drastically reduce the risk of that, and you will have risk, of course. It may happen, but it may happen also in a store or in your own assortment. So to reduce it, process of onboarding, selection, and KPIs follow-up is very important.
Quickly, one of the main issues a marketplace face today is customer returning goods.
Yeah.
How do you handle any tips and tricks you could?
Yeah, of course, a lot. But I will be fast.
Yeah, no problem. It's just there is another presentation at in
Okay.
1 minute, but I mean,
Great.
you will do it.
There is three way of doing that. If you have an extended marketplace, this means, for example, you handle a store or a chain of store. So you need to have an omni-channel strategy and being able to allow your customer to return the product on the store. So for that, interconnection with the legacy to be able to do the reimbursement, to be able to handle the return of the goods is key. So for that, implementation, that's key. The second one is to allow, there is a lot of new logistic solution, what we call reverse logistic, that are able to come back to get the package from your home and to manage it. The key things is doing that has an impact on many processes. First, you want to get your money back. First, you want to get your money back quick. Secondly, you want to be sure that you are not be stolen or the product has no bad impact on what you did, because they have to check it in the way. And the thing that you are suffering, the marketplace operator is suffering too, because I told you, it doesn't own the product. So it needs to reimburse you for something that it doesn't own. So he had the balance of cash that he has to manage. He needs to be sure that you really send back the product, or the product has really be sent to the guy, and he has to decide if he will reimburse or reclaim the commission that he gives to the sellers. So all of this process has a huge impact. In terms of customer experience, that's something that I explained to some people who are not experimented with e-commerce and all of this stuff. For us, it's just one click. But it generates so many actions in too many different systems that if it's not well orchestrated, it will be a mess. So if you have a store, allow them to bring it back to the store, manage the reverse logistic, do the reimbursement directly from the cashier. That's the best customer experience that you can get. And if you have a store, it will generate traffic on the store. which is good too.
Thank you, Kamel. Thanks a lot.
You're welcome.
So we can find you online. I mean, on LinkedIn, you have.
Yeah,
you
can
accept.
go on marjorie.io. We have
Okay.
a booth S211, close to IBM, a tiny company that we are competing with. But so
Thanks a lot.
we're more than happy to welcome you on board. Thank you. I hope you enjoyed the presentation. Sorry for the
Yes.
quality. It was at the last
was
time,
perfect.
but try to
Thank
do
you.
my best. Thank you.